Please subscribe and you can download this code from description below. Title: How to identify the number of columns in a query from a select statement string in Python. Introduction. When working with SQL queries in Python, you may encounter situations where you need to determine the number of columns that will be returned by a select statement without actually executing the query. This can be useful for various purposes, such as validating query correctness, defining data structures, or formatting query results. In this tutorial, we will explore how to identify the number of columns in a select statement string using Python. Requirements. Installation. You can install the SQLparse library using pip. Step 1. Parse the SQL query. To identify the number of columns in a select statement, you first need to parse the SQL query string. We will use the SQLparse library to achieve this. The library can break down the SQL statement into its constituent parts, making it easier to extract the column information. Step 2. Identify columns. Once the SQL query is parsed, we can extract the information about the columns. In a select statement, columns are typically listed after the select keyword. We can iterate through the parsed tokens and count the number of columns. Step 3. Example usage. Now that we have the functions in place, let's see how to use them with an example query. This will output. Conclusion. In this tutorial, you have learned how to identify the number of columns in a select statement from the SQL query string using Python. By parsing the SQL query with the SQLparse library and counting the columns, you can effectively determine the structure of your query without executing it. This can be particularly useful when working with dynamic SQL queries and automating data processing tasks. ChatGPT.